Hi everyone. So today I'll be talking about the 5 convincing jam English word. And the number 1 is advice. Advice with C and advice with S. That is the only one to differentiate advice and advice, the C and the S. So advice with the C is a noun and it means a suggestion. And advice with the S, advice with the S, it is a verb which means to give a suggestion. I hope it is easy to differentiate. Let me give an example on advice. An example of advice with the C, e.g., she gave me a good advice. He gave me a good advice. And the tip to remember for advice is to give, to suggest. For advice with S, I will advise you to read every day. I will advise you to read every day. So advice with the C, it is a concept which means a thing, a suggestion. While advice with the S is suggest, is an action. I will advise you every day is an action. But she gave me a good advice is a thing. I hope you understand the difference between advice with the C and advice with the S now. Advice with the C is a noun, while advice with the S is a verb. And we all know that now is anything. I hope we know the meaning of now. Now is a naming word. Now is a thing. I hope we know that. So advice here is also a thing. So let's move to the second one, which is affect versus effect. Affect is a verb. Affect is a verb which means to influence. While effect means a noun. It means the result of something. One example of affect is poor sleep can affect your JAMB performance. Poor sleep can affect your JAMB performance, which means if you don't sleep well while preparing for JAMB, it can really affect your JAMB performance negatively. That's what affect means. You see that you can also say that poor sleep can influence your JAMB performance. So now let's talk about the effect. Example of effect is the effect of the noise was distracting. So effect here means the result. You can also say that the result of the noise was distracting. So let's move to 3. Accept versus accept. Accept means to receive. Why accept means to exclude. Accept means to accept an offer. Yes, I accept this offer. Why accept means you can say accept. Everyone is present at the party except John. So let's move to number 4. I hope you understand better now. Number 4, we are talking about principal and principle. It sounds same way. While principal, you all know the meaning of principal. Principal is a person You can say the principal is a main item. We can say that the principal of today's discussion, which also means the main discussion for today, is so and so. Why principle is a rule. It's a rule or belief. So example of principal is the school principal spoke today. Why principle is stood by his principle, and this principle can also say he stood by his rule or belief. So let's move to the last one, which people don't really understand the meaning. Lose and lose, they also sound the same way. Lose with one O is to misplace. Is to misplace or not win. To lose. Maybe you gamble with your money and lose it. That's what lose means. Or to misplace your money. If you are looking for it, that's what lose means. But lose with double O means something not tight. Something not tight. Let me give an example of this lose. Don't lose your school ID card. Don't lose your school ID card. Why the second one, which is with the double O, the button is loosed. So I hope you guys now understand the difference between lose and lose. So I urge everyone to like this video and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.